So yesterday I posted a video on the mod that I found on the RETEVIS MB4, and I got a lot of those ideas and inspiration from Simon the Wizard's channel. He's over out of Bulgaria. Has a really cool website. You need to check that out. I actually find these little export rigs quite interesting, and now that we're seeing them come into the US, I'm getting more excited about that actually. But here's the deal. This radio comes at into the US under the RETEVIS labeling for the MB4. It's also sold over in Europe as the Albrecht, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, AE6390, the Avanti Zano, Z-A-N-O, and the Anytone AT707. And there may be more, but anyway, this is what we have. And then of course the RETEVIS. So there's 4. So I want to thank Simon the Wizard for that. But he kind of sent me an email. Basically, I was taking the long way, or the scenic route, to go through the bands and the channels here. The way I had this set up yesterday was the EU bands, CE, U, PL, 12 DE for German, and then IN for India, and those all work and everything. However, that covers from 26565 to 2799125. Believe it or not, that's a weird one. Then it has a ham mode where you again fiddle around with jumpers and whatnot, and I'll kind of show you this real quick. And that goes from 280 to 29695. Okay, so that's all great, but Simon informed me there's actually an HF mode, which will allow this radio to go from 24.715 to 30.105. Now, why would we care about that? I mean, this is just an AM and FM rig, right? I mean, who cares? I mean, over here in the United States, we don't, we're not really into FM, and I got to be quite honest with you, I'm not either. But here's what I find fascinating about these radios is obviously these are, they have lookalikes, or they're the same boards that are sold in other countries around the world, which I think is really cool. I think the mods are pretty neat. And I think a radio like this could come in handy. Say, for instance, you want to have a dedicated radio for the 26805 FM calling channel, or if you do some 10-meter simplex, FM simplex. In the US, this covers the whole 10-meter FM portion. You cannot split frequency with this, so it doesn't have repeater offsets or anything like that. So you're just going to be in simplex mode, which is kind of cool, because if you have a group of folks, you guys just run simplex on 10, you could actually use this as a dedicated radio for that band. And I plan on using this as a dedicated receiver for the 805 for FM. So I like the performance of this. Anyway, let's take a look at the mod. Okay, so I'm going to be the first one to tell you that I kind of thrashed this, trying to figure this stuff out. And what I did is I accidentally broke the plastic, the plastic off of the jumper pin right here. But when this thing comes from the factory, this little jumper pin here is on 1 and 2. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull the jumper and jump 2 and 3. Then of course here is where the ever famous white wire is. And I don't usually cut the white wire, I usually just desolder it. So what you're going to do is you're going to either cut or eliminate the white wire. And this is where I kind of chickened out. I got all this done and got the EU bands and all that kind of stuff in that video that I did yesterday. But Simon told me about this one. You do this one here. So what you're going to want to do is, there's nothing here. What you're going to want to do is jumper this side. So go to pins 2 and 3. I hope I'm not making you dizzy here. And then eliminate the white wire. And then jump that pad and that pad. And you can do that on the back side. which is what I did. Right there, you have to have blue wire and do a better soldering job than I did. Okay, so there you go. And heck yeah, guys, that's the mod. Now I'm going to show you how to actually utilize your mod. Okay, so now that we've moved the pins from 2 to 3, eliminated the white wire, and used our special high performance blue wire to jump those other 2 pads, you're going to turn the radio on. But I haven't done that in a while on this one, so I'm going to show you what you should do. Once you do those mods, you're going to want to turn the radio on, and then you're going to want to get into the menu. All right, and I've shown that in other videos, and we're going to go over here to, where was it? Reset. Okay, and I'm just using the up down arrows to toggle. Okay, we're going to go to reset. We're going to go and we're going to confirm that function. So here's our settings for like the channel memories and all that. We want to go all. So we're going to reset the whole thing. We're going to push and hold. Oh, lovely. There's our tone. So we got that D, right, that came up. So we are in D band. Think of that again as like a Connex or a Galaxy or something like that. Okay, that's going to give you 26965 to 27405. Okay, so this is our legal 40 channel spectrum here. So now, how do we go elsewheres? So we have channels A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and then N and UK. There's 2 little funky little bands. And the N band has only 21 channels, and then the 40 channel UK, which is basically 2760,125 to 27,99125 is FM only. So I don't really think that we need to worry about those. But anyway, this is what really stumped me, and I tried everything. In fact, I found the test mode for this, but I'm going to show you how to toggle between bands. So currently, we have the beep. Currently, 26965. All right. So what we're going to do is to change bands, we're going to double click, or double click would be a good term. Menu, and now we have that flashes, and so we can go through our bands a couple different ways. We can use the rotary channel selector on the front. We can use our up down keys on the mic. Press to confirm, or just let it time out. And there we are. So yeah, again, pretty cool. This is very interesting. I get it, you guys. Everybody wants a sideband rig. I thoroughly understand that, but don't rule something like this out. It's pretty inexpensive. It's just a little over $100. It's like $114 or something like that. Anyway, don't rule it out, because this would make a great dedicated simplex radio for you FM DX guys, or guys that are maybe thinking of dabbling into the FM DX world. I'm going to tell you that that world with one radio can get quite boring. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can sit on one of those FM call channels or an FM channel and not hear nothing all day, or only hear a couple, 2 or 3 stations. But if you use something like this and make this like as a dedicated monitor for any given channel, you won't miss out on a thing. You know, you'll need a dedicated antenna as well, but hey, there you go. You can always dial your big rig down or up to wherever you hear the traffic at. But anyway, that's why I find these fascinating. It kind of gives us a little bit more to mess around with in the hobby. All right, leave questions or comments down below. Later.